Hello viewers, welcome again to today's lesson. This is the Solution Space, the platform where mathematics is made easy and simple for everyone to understand and to enjoy. In this video, I want us to continue with the change of subject that I started with you in the previous videos. In the previous videos, we started learning about change of subject, and we've done a detailed explanation on it, and we've solved some examples on it as well. And in the last video, we handled an aspect of the change of subject, which is relations involving fractions. Okay, so that is the last thing that we treated under the change of subject, and we've done a detailed explanation on it, and we've solved some examples on it as well in the previous videos. And I hope you all understood it and you enjoyed the lesson as well. So in this video, I want us to continue and handle another aspect of the change of subject. Okay, so still on the change of subject, I want us to handle another aspect, and that is relations involving square and square root. Okay, so still on the change of subject, we want to look at another aspect of it, which is relations involving square and square root. As you can see from the board, I've written relations involving square and square root. So that is what I want to teach you in this video, and I will advise that you do well to watch the previous videos, okay, because the previous videos lays the foundation, the basic knowledge and understanding that you need about this topic. I've done those explanations in the previous videos. Okay, so do well to watch the previous videos so that you get a good foundation to be able to handle this session as well. And please don't forget to like the videos and also share them as well. And if you are watching for the first time, please do well to follow the page as well. So let's go ahead and handle today's lesson on relations involving square and square root under the change of subject. Okay, so you can see from the board that I have example 1 on the board that I want to solve with you. Okay, but before we handle the example that I have on the board, I want to do a quick explanation on what we mean when we talk about relations involving square and square root under the change of subject. Okay, so now when we talk about relations involving square and square root under the change of subject, all that it means is that you have a given equation which either contains a square root sign or some of the variables are squared. Okay, let me repeat it one more time. So I'm saying that when we talk about relations involving square and square root under the change of subject, what that means is that you have a given equation which either contains a square root sign or some of the variables are squared. And when I say some of the variables are squared, it means the variable is raised to the power 2. Okay, so that is the meaning of relations involving square and square root under the change of subject. Okay, so let's handle the example 1 that I have on the board. Okay, so example 1, it says make R the subject of the following. Okay, so I have A, square root of R equals to T. Okay, so we have to make R the subject of it. And I have B, R squared equals to T. And I have C, A equals pi R squared. Okay, so we have to make R the subject in each of the given equation. Okay, and I've explained it to you from the previous videos that when you are being asked to make a particular variable the subject in a given equation, in simple terms, what that means is that you have to make that variable stand alone. Okay, so that particular variable that they are asking you to make the subject in that given equation, it means that make the variable stand alone in that equation, meaning that everything that is attached to that variable that you are being asked to make the subject, you move it away so that that variable can stand alone in the given equation. Okay, and we've solved many examples on it in the previous videos. Okay, so let me start with the A. Okay, so the A, I have square root of R equals to T. Okay, so square root of R equals to T. We are being asked to make R the subject. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to handle this one. Okay, so this is an example of relations that contains square root. Okay, you can see that we have square root of r equals to t, so it contains square root. So it's an example of a relation that contains square root. Okay, and this is an example of relation that contains a square. Okay, you can see we have r squared equals to t. Okay, so this is an example of a relation that has a square in it. Okay, and C, we have a equals pi r squared. So this is also an example of a relation that has a square in it. Okay, so I'm going to take my time and explain it to you. Okay, so let's start with the A. So the A, we have square root of r equals to t. We have to make r the subject. Making r the subject means that we should make r stand alone. Okay, so now before we tackle the examples that I have on the board, I'm going to write similar examples to it to use it to explain it to you, so that when you get the understanding, we can proceed and handle the ones that we have on the board. Okay, so now let me start with the A, which is a relation that involves square root sign. Okay, so assuming I have something like this, let's say I have a square root of s equals to y. Okay, I'm being asked to make s the subject, so I'm using it to explain how you are going to handle this one to you. Okay, so you can see that this is similar to this one. It's also a relation that involves square root sign. Okay, so for us to make s the subject, you can see that it's an equation that contains a square root sign. Okay, so anytime that you have an equation that contains a square root sign, the first thing to do is to try to eliminate the square root sign from it. Okay, that's the first step. Okay, so this is an example, and I'm saying that let's try to make s the subject from this equation. Okay, meaning that we should make s stand alone. But because the equation has a square root sign, the first thing to do is to try to eliminate the square root sign from the equation. Okay, anytime you have an equation that has a square root sign in it of this nature, the first thing to do is to try and eliminate the square root sign from the equation. Okay, to eliminate it means remove it. Okay, so we'll try to remove the square root sign from this equation. That's the first step. Okay, so how to eliminate the square root sign from this equation, that's what I'm going to show you. Okay, so the only way to eliminate the square root sign from this equation, that is the first step of trying to make the variable s the subject. Okay, so what we are going to do is that we are going to square both sides of the equation. Okay, I hope you get the explanation up to this point. Okay, let me repeat it one more time. Okay, so I'm saying that we need to make s the subject from this equation. Okay, and because it contains a square root sign, okay, the first thing to do is to try to eliminate the square root sign from the equation. And for you to achieve that, you need to square both sides of the equation. That is the only way you can eliminate the square root sign from this given equation. Okay, so let's proceed. So I'll repeat my square root of s equals to y. Then we are going to square both sides of the equation. Okay, so we square both sides like this. Okay, so that this power 2 which we have here can cancel the square root sign away. Okay, so this power 2 will cancel itself and cancel the square root sign away, so that we will have s equals to what we have left here is y squared. Okay, because y to the power 2 is y squared. So you can see that s is standing alone from this given equation, so it means we've made s the subject. Okay, I hope the explanation is clear enough up to this point. Okay, so you can see that s is standing alone. Making s the subject means make s stand alone in the given equation, and you can see that s is standing alone, nothing is attached to it. We have s equals to y squared, so we've made s the subject. So this is the answer for making s the subject from this given equation. I hope the explanation is clear enough. Let me use another example to explain it to you before we handle the one that I have on the board. So I'm going to clean this one, then we are going to do another example similar to it. So assuming I have, let's say I have a square root of a equals to, let's say, 2b. Okay, we are being asked to make A the subject of this given equation or relation. Okay, so you can see that this is also an example of a relation containing square root sign, which is similar to this. Okay, so I've explained to you that before you can attempt to make any variable the subject from this kind of equation, because it contains a square root sign, the first thing to do is to try to eliminate the square root sign away from it. Okay, and for us to achieve that, we need to square both sides of the equation. Okay, so let's go ahead. So I'm going to repeat my square root of A equals to 2B, and for us to get A to stand alone, we are making A the subject. Okay, just an example to explain it to you. So we are making A the subject from this equation. Okay, so for us to make A the subject, first we need to eliminate the square root sign which is in it, and how to achieve that is to square both sides of the equation. Okay, so I'm going to square this side of the equation and square this side as well. Okay, so now this power 2 will cancel the square root sign away, so this power 2 cancels off and cancel the square root sign away. So you have A equals to 2b all to the power 2. And please don't forget that with this one, this power 2 affects everything in the bracket. Okay, we did this under the indices. I've taught you indices. Okay, so we are applying the same knowledge here. Okay, so this power 2 affects the 2 which is here, and this power 2 affects the b which is here as well. Okay, very important. So we are going to get A equals 2 squared is 4 and b squared is b squared. So we are going to get A equals 4b squared. Okay, and you can see that A is standing alone in this equation. So this is our final answer for making A the subject in this given equation. Okay, so A equals 4b squared. That's our final answer for making A the subject. I hope the explanation is clear enough up to this point. Okay, so let's go ahead and handle the A that I have on the board. So I'm going to click this one from here so that we can do the A. Okay, so the A, we have to make R the subject from this. So let me write down my solution. Okay, and let me repeat the question. So I have square root of R equals to T. Okay, so we are being asked to make R the subject, which means that we are to make R stand alone in this given equation. Okay, and for us to achieve that, we first need to square both sides of the equation as I've explained to you. So let's go ahead. So I'm going to repeat my square root of R equals to T, then I'm going to square both sides of it. Okay, so that this power 2 can cancel the square root sign away. Okay, so that this power 2 cancel itself one and cancel the square root sign away. So what I have left here is R equals to T squared, and that is your final answer for making R the subject of the given equation. You can see that R is standing alone, so it means we've made R the subject of the given equation. So R equals T squared. Okay, so I hope the explanation is clear enough up to this point. So let's go ahead and handle the B as well. So the B, we have R squared equals to T. We are to make R the subject of this given equation. Okay, so this is an example of a relation that contains a square. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to handle that one as well. Okay, so now before we do this B, I'm going to use some examples to explain it to you. Okay, before we handle this one that we have on the board. Okay, so let's say I have something like this. Let's say I have a S squared equals to Y. Okay, have you seen this is similar to this one? So I want to use this one to explain it to you. Then we can proceed and solve the B that I have on the board. Okay, so now we have S squared equals to Y. We have to make S the subject from this given equation. Okay, so this is a relation that has a square in it or containing a square. Okay, and for you to make S the subject means that make S stand alone in the given equation. Okay, so that's what you are going to do. Okay, so what we need to think about is to how we are going to eliminate this power 2 from there, because if we are able to eliminate this power 2 from there, it means we can get S to stand alone in the given equation, and we've made S the subject. Okay, and for you to be able to eliminate this power 2 from there, you need to take square root of both sides of the equation. Okay, I'm going to repeat it one more time. I'm saying that this is an example of a relation that has a square in it, which is similar to this one. We have x squared equals to y, and I'm saying that let's try to make s the subject from this given equation. Okay, so the only way to try to make s stand alone is to try to eliminate this power 2 away. Okay, and how to achieve that is that you are going to square both sides of the equation. So squaring both sides of the equation will help us to eliminate this power 2 away. So let's do that and see. So I'm going to repeat my s squared equals to y. Then I'm going to square both sides of the equation so that this power 2 can cancel the square root sign away. Okay, so this power 2 cancel the square root sign away. So you have your s equals to square root of y. Okay, you can see that s is standing alone in this equation. So that's your final answer for making s the subject from this given equation, okay, which is s squared equals to y. Our answer for making s the subject is s equals to square root of y, and this is our final answer. I hope the explanation is clear enough and you understood it. Okay, so with the same understanding, we are going to solve the b as well. We have r squared equals to t, and we are being asked to make r the subject. Okay, from the question it says make r the subject of the following. Okay, so we are making r the subject from this. So I'm going to clean this one from here so that we can do the b. Okay, so let me clean this and let's go ahead and do the b. So I'm going to write down my solution. So solution here. So I have r squared equals to t, okay, and we are being asked to make r the subject from the given equation, okay, because the question says make r the subject of the following. Okay, so we are making r the subject from the given equation, meaning that we have to make r stand alone. Okay, and I've explained to you that for us to achieve that, we need to think of eliminating the power 2 from there. Okay, and the only way to achieve that is to take square root of both sides of the equation, as I've explained to you. Okay, so I'm going to repeat what I have here. So I have r squared equals to t, and I'm going to take square root of both sides of the equation. So I'll take the square root of this side and also take the square root of this side as well, so that this power 2 can cancel the square root sign away. Okay, so the power 2 will cancel itself and cancel the square root sign away. So what I have left here is r equals square root of t. Okay, and you can see that r is standing alone from this given equation, so it means we've made r the subject. Okay, so you can see nothing is attached to r. R is standing alone from the given equation, so that is our answer for making r the subject from the equation r squared equals to t. So our final answer is r equals to square root of t. Okay, I hope the explanation is clear enough up to this point. Okay, so now let's handle the c as well. Okay, I have a equals pi r squared. Okay, so now I'm going to write an example which is similar to this and use it to explain it to you before we handle the one that I have on the board. Okay, so let's say I have, a y equals ab squared. Okay, so I'm using this as an example to explain this to you, okay, so that we can go ahead and solve that which we have on the board, which is the a equals pi r squared. Okay, so this is a similar example to explain it to you, okay, so that we can proceed and solve this one. Okay, so I have y equals ab squared. Okay, and let's say we are trying to make b the subject. Okay, so just like this one, we have a equals pi r squared, and we are being asked to make r the subject from this given equation. With this one, we are making b the subject of this. Okay, so it's a similar example to explain it so that when you get the understanding, we can solve this one. Okay, so I have y equals ab squared, and we have to make b the subject. Okay, so now you can see that we have a attached to the b that we want to make the subject. Making b the subject means that we have to make b stand alone. Okay, so everything which is attached to b, we have to move it away. Okay, so the first thing to move away from the b is the a. Okay, so we are going to move this a away from this b squared. Okay, then we'll think of how to make b stand alone. Okay, I hope the explanation is clear. Okay, for you to eliminate the a which is here from this side, Okay, so we have ab squared, y equals to ab squared. We want to take this a away. Okay, because this a and the b squared are multiplying, how to make sure that the a moves away from the b is to divide through the equation by a. Okay, by doing so, we can cancel this a away so that we have b squared to stand alone. Then afterwards, we'll look at what to do to make b stand alone by getting b. Okay, so to get this b squared to stand alone from this side, we divide here by a. Okay, then we divide here also by a. So you divide through the equation by a so that this a can cancel this a away. I hope you agree with me. So what we have left is y over a equals to b squared. Okay, I hope you agree with me up to this point. Okay, now from here we need to now get our b to stand alone. Okay, so we have to make b the subject, not b squared, so we are not down. So for us to get b to stand alone, we are going to take square root of both sides of the equation, just as we did to this one. Okay, I'm going to take square root of both sides of the equation so that the square root sign can cancel this power 2 away so that we can have our b standing alone. Okay, so what you do is that you take square root of both sides of the equation. So I'll take square root of this side, then I'll take square root of this side as well, so that this power 2 will cancel the square root sign away. So what I have left here is square root of y over a equals to b. I hope you can see. Okay, so it means we've made let me clean it and write it all. So it means we've made b the subject. So I have square root of y over a equals to b. Okay, so you can see that b is standing alone now. So this is the answer for making b the subject of the given equation, which is y equals ab squared. So b is standing alone, so it means we've made b the subject. Okay, so this is the answer for making b the subject of the equation. Okay, so our b equals square root of y over a. Okay, I hope the explanation is clear enough. So with that understanding, let's handle the c, which is a equals pi r squared, and we are being asked to make r the subject. Okay, so I'm going to clean this one from here. Okay, so that we can do the c. Okay, so I'm going to write down my solution. Okay, so I have a equals pi r squared. Okay, so we have to make r the subject. Okay, so you can see that pi is attached to the r. Okay, the r squared, pi is attached to it. So the first thing to think about is to move the pi away. And because the pi and the r squared, they are multiplying, to move the pi away, you divide through the equation by pi. Okay, so you divide here by pi, then you divide here also by pi, so that this pi and this pi can cancel away. Okay, then let's write what we have left. So what I have left here is a over pi equals to r squared. Okay, I hope you agree with me up to this point. And now from here, for us to get our r to stand alone, okay, we are making r the subject. So if you leave it like this, you are wrong, you are not done. Okay, we have to make r the subject and not r squared the subject. Here we have r squared. So for us to get r from this equation, we need to take square root of both sides, as I've explained to you. Okay, so when we take square root of both sides of the equation, that square root sign can cancel the power 2 away so that we will have our r standing alone. Okay, so I'm going to take square root of this side, and also I'm going to take square root of this side as well. I hope you agree with me, so that this power 2 will cancel the square root sign away. Okay, so we have our square root of a. Okay, so we took square root of both sides of the equation. Okay, so that this power 2 will cancel the square root sign away. Now what we have left is square root of a. You can see r is standing alone, so we've made r the subject of the given equation. So our r equals square root of a all over. The final answer for making r the subject of the given equation, a equals pi r squared. I hope the explanation was clear enough and you understood it as well. I'll be back on your way again in another video whilst we solve more examples on this. And please don't forget to like the video and also share the video as well. And if you are watching for the first time, please do well to follow the page as well. Bye bye.